Hello, this is Jeff Parsons. I made a short video on two different astronomy weather applications that I'd like to share with you now. I've been into astronomy for 4 years and also been a member of a couple of astronomy clubs during that period of time. And like all of you, I've come to realize how important accurate weather forecasting is. That is why HAA posts an astronomy weather application called Clear Sky Chart on our website, amateurastronomy.org. We're looking at the home page. Click on Resources, and there's the Clear Sky Chart. Click on the chart, and it takes us to a website, cleardarksky.com, and it displays the Clear Sky Chart for Hamilton. Many of us have relied on Clear Dark Sky as it has been around for many years. It is one of a number of contributions made by a Canadian astronomer, the late Attila Danko. He wrote a script that generates and summarizes in chart form the Canadian Meteorological Centre weather forecasting model. In that model, the backbone is the RDPS data. This data is pulled from thousands of ground weather stations in Canada and elsewhere. This makes it extremely valuable for contributing the localized data on temperature, wind, precipitation, humidity, dew point, etc., etc. RDPS also has a cloud model incorporated into it. There is also the European ECWMF cloud model that is included for comparison purposes. Now, Clear Dark Sky continues to provide valuable weather information for astronomers. However, consider that the most important aspect of astronomy weather is the cloud forecast. After all, there's got to be clear skies, so we need accurate forecasts. Consider also that there are many other cloud models available, and they're all different, sometimes dramatically. Of all the many cloud models, Clear Dark Sky uses only 2, and although it's said to have 80% accuracy, that is only within a 12-hour window, and only for those cloud models that it can forecast from. It lacks any information from the other cloud model predictions. Now, showing on the screen is a great alternative, the Astrospheric application that many of us are using now. This is a web-based application that I'm using because it formats better for the video presentation. But the go-to is the mobile app for Android and iOS, with having better portability and convenience. The mobile app also displays more information than this web version does. There are 3 versions of Astrospheric. The free version that we're looking at now, the pro version that costs a pricey $35 per year, and the Astronomy Club Pro Lite version, which is free. Astrospheric has a visual and interactive style that is really nice. Here on the home page, we can click on a time in one of the time columns for any specific date, and it will bring up the cloud map for that date and that time. Also, you can click on this play button in the upper right, and it will play a time lapse of the cloud coverage over the 4 days that are displayed on this cloud map. So there we go, and it scrolls through the days. Astrospheric is prettier to look at, and it has more cool features, but as far as cloud forecasting goes, it really doesn't have much more to offer than Clear Dark Sky, because it also has only 2 cloud models to draw from, one of them being the RDPS model, the same as Clear Dark Sky. But then there is a better version of Astrospheric. I'm just going to pause the video and log into my account to bring up the Astronomy Club Pro Lite version. And here it is. This model this version, I should say, has 4 cloud models. Now, the screen is only showing 2, but again, the mobile version is more complete than the web version. It would show 4 cloud models here. So have you heard the joke about Microsoft Windows designing a car? Well, their car has 5 steering wheels, one on the left, one on the right, one in the back, one in the glove box, and one where all the other car makers put the wheel. Then in the glove box, there's a message that reads, "Although this method is known to work, if you receive an error message, reboot and try another method." Astrospheric is kind of like that when it comes to the cloud models, because there's actually 5 cloud models altogether. And you can look at these cloud models in a number of different ways that I'm going to go through quickly. The first one that we've already talked about, using the cloud map. So clicking on a date and time column and then clicking on a model to see the cloud forecast for that date and time, or playing the video time lapse of the cloud model over time. The next way to look at the cloud models is these hamburger stacks in the time columns. So there'd be a hamburger for each of the 4 cloud models that would be displayed on the mobile app page. And they go from a dark blue, meaning clear skies, to a white, meaning completely cloudy skies. And they also pertain, each layer pertains to one of the 4 cloud models. So this top layer here, for instance, would be the RDPS model here at 1 p.m. on the 13th, showing that there is some RDPS clouds forecast for that date and time. An alternative look at the clouds is to go down to the lower left, this box that says cloud cover. There's 4 different percentages in the box, and that pertains to each cloud model's percentage of cloud. So for example, on the 13th at 1 p.m., the RDPS cloud model is showing 24% cloud cover at my location in Hamilton. Another interesting way of looking at the clouds is the ensemble cloud cover. That is this button here. I'll click on that, and you see a kaleidoscope of colors pop up on the map. And of course, that would change as the cloud map changes for each date and time. If you look here on the left-hand side, you see the circle. So what the ensemble cloud cover model is doing is it's incorporating 3 cloud models, the main RDPS, the GFS, and the icon, and it's assigning a color to each one. So if we look through, you get this purpley blue in some places in the cloud map. There's some over here. That's RDPS clouds. You look at our location here, it's kind of orangey red. That would be the GFS clouds. And if you look over here, there's some green. That would be the icon clouds. And of course, again, that changes with the dates and times. If you want to have a really good time after you've taken your favorite gummy, just go to the ensemble cloud model and click on the play button and drift away. The last method I'm going to show you is to click on the main map, and it will go to a zoomed in map. And on the zoomed in map is a drop-down list here, which lists all 5 of the cloud models plus the ensemble cloud. So you can click on each cloud model, and then you can use this time slider to slide to the date and time that you're interested in for your location, and you can zoom in tight to your location. So I'm just going to zoom into where I live. I live near Mohawk Sports Park on the East Mountain, right above there somewhere. And you can change the cloud model. There's the GFS. There's the icon. The one model that is not shown on the homepage map is this one, the GDPS Long Range Cloud. And it is really important to check this one because it's not showing you any of its information on the homepage. And I have been caught a number of times thinking that it was going to be a great night and finding out that it's cloud covered because of this baby right here. I've said before that the most important aspect of an astronomy weather forecast is having accurate cloud modeling. And although Astrospheric is not prediction perfect, it excels at providing better cloud modeling. Being a gatekeeper for our members at the Binbrook Conservation Area and opening the park for them on good nights, I rely on Astrospheric because it has been so useful in predicting when to open or not open the park. Also, I do some astrophotography, mostly from my backyard in Hamilton, using a smart telescope that lets me schedule a block of time when it will image one or more targets. Using Astrospheric, I can see a night can start cloudy, then clear up later for a period of time, and then go cloudy again. Well, I can schedule my smart telescope to image during that clear period of time. In other words, not wasting the limited opportunities to do astrophotography. Moving on from cloud modeling, there are a number of other great features in Astrospheric. An important feature is how customizable it is. For example, the cloud modeling that appears in the chart is there because I selected all the cloud models and that's how they appear. Another model that I selected is the KP index. This line right here, it says KP in numbers for different blocks of dates and times. The KP index is a measure of the Earth's geomagnetic activity. The scale is from 0 to 9, but anything greater than 5 is considered to be good because that means that there is solar activity causing an increase in geomagnetic activity and a chance for the aurora to appear. So at a glance, I can tell if there's going to be any chance of aurora activity. And because I selected aurora activity as one of the features, if we scroll down further, there is actually a time lapse that can be played. It'll run for an 8-hour period, and it will show where the aurora is forecast to appear above the Earth. Our location is here in Hamilton. So hit the play button, it's doing a rendering, and then it starts playing the video. Now, this particular date and time, there is not very much activity at all, and is all confined to northern Canada. Other things that are selected and included here are the ISS appearance. This symbol here and here, that's the ISS space station. The rising and setting of the sun, the rising and setting of the moon, the wind direction, the temperature, and below that, the blue line is the dew point. Down here, because I've selected everything, this appears, and these would change as you change the dates and times, giving you the forecast for all of these items during that hour of that day. There is also the extended cloud forecast here. Now, although this is useful, you should not rely on it because it is a prediction that's going out a week, I think, in total. So it's going to be, the accuracy drops as the time forward goes up. I've also selected moon details. There they are here on the left-hand side. The phases of the moon. It also shows when the next lunar eclipse will be in our area in Hamilton. So the next one is coming up soon on March 3rd. And it looks like here it's going to peak to totality around 6 a.m. and last for about an hour. Over here we have the astronomical clock. This is another very useful thing. I selected most of the planets and the moon to appear, and so they're all assigned a color and they appear here on the astronomical clock. Jupiter is up, so it's above this line. And we can change the time simply by using this scroll bar. We can go forward and backward in time. So I can go to about here on February 13th at 10 p.m. And I think that's pretty much where Jupiter will be at its peak altitude at 70 degrees, corresponding to how far away its orbit is from the center of the clock. Also, something that I use quite a bit is I want to find out when the best time to view or images. The best time to view would start right about here. The best time to image astronomical darkness is right about there. This question mark brings you to an information page, and it gives you some more details about understanding the clock. Lastly, you may have noticed these place names on the left-hand side. These are locations that I have saved, and because they've been saved, they also appear pinned to the map here. So makes it easy for you to check on certain locations where you like to do astronomy. Your favorite locations you can set up here. There's also on this same section, this is the favorites we have up right now. There's also my profile, which you can change yourself. You go over to here, this is subspace. This would be a private chat for an astronomy club. They can set it up here in subspace. It's fairly easy to do. This one here is for Hamilton RASC. Over here are settings, and this of course is where I select the features that I want the map to display. They're all here. So that pretty much concludes my coverage of astronomical weather apps. In conclusion, I am highly recommending Astrospheric, and also I'm proposing the club switch from supporting Clear Dark Sky to supporting Astrospheric by posting the Astrospheric interface on our website, much like you see here on this, on this web page for Hamilton RASC. There is the Astrospheric there. This is a reasonable requirement from Astrospheric for them to gain exposure in return for our members to be granted access to the Pro Lite version for free. Once we get approval from Astrospheric, it is easy for members to join. What they do is, first of all, the HAA group would be set up on Astrospheric, and they would follow these steps to join. It's quite simple. You simply download the app and follow these instructions. That's the end of my presentation. I apologize that it went a little bit longer than I thought, but there it is. Thank you for your time, and